The polyvagal theory is a new understanding for how the entire nervous system works. And with that, it gives us incredible implications for how to control your body, your brain, other people's bodies, their brains in ways that might seem impossible, as well as lends specifics to concepts that might have been left to the abstract, things like trauma. So let's just begin here. What is the autonomic nervous system? The autonomic nervous system is the automatic nervous system. This is the part of your body you don't consciously control. It's your heart, it's your breathing, it's your digestion, it's your spleen. You don't think to yourself, Seth, I want my heart to beat. It just beats on your own. Otherwise, you would never be able to sleep at night. So traditionally, the autonomic nervous system has been divided between these two halves that are kind of viewed as in conflict with each other. At any given point, you're Bruce Banner or you're the Hulk. You're either in your parasympathetic mode, that's your social mode, you're resting, you're relaxing, you're eating, or you're in your Hulk mode, your fight or flight mode, your fighting mode. The sympathetic nervous system is often called of course, the fight or flight mode. But I'm here to blow that all up and tell you that that's completely wrong. Because the way the nervous system works is not that simple. And in fact, it's much, much more interesting. But in order to understand why, we need to go back in time and understand why the autonomic nervous system evolved the way it did in the first place. So first of all, the number one job of the autonomic nervous system is to keep us alive. If you think back to prehistoric, even pre-human times, you're in this dangerous savanna or wilderness or jungle. You don't have time every time you come in contact with an animal or a person to think consciously to yourself, that thing's safe or that thing's dangerous. You have to act instantly and you have to act immediately and unconsciously. And so your body has this sort of resource balance it has to equate. Am I going to put resources towards socializing with something or resources towards fighting it off? And it's not something you have time to think about, because if you've already thought about it, you're already dead. And the way we do this is a sense we're going to call neuroception. What neuroception is, this is the way our bodies unconsciously scan the world around us and look for signs of safety and signs of danger and use that information in order to influence all of these things in our bodies that we don't constantly control. Every time you meet somebody, your neuroception is scanning them and saying, are you safe or are you dangerous? And the answer to that question tells you everything. So the important thing is that neuroception is instant, neuroception is automatic. When you meet somebody, you don't think to yourself, I like this person, I'm going to open up. It just kind of happens. When you meet an animal, you don't think to yourself, that's a safe animal. It just sort of is known by your body. And so the thing about neuroception is that this external force, this ability to have outside forces hit our nervous system, is so powerful that allows us to actually physically control our own bodies and other people's bodies in ways that are actually very, very surprising. Depending on the sounds you hear and the lights you hear and the sense of safety you get about anything you meet in the world, a lot of things change about your body and about your nervous system. And the old model for how the nervous system works, that there's this sympathetic system and parasympathetic and there's two states, that's not really the truth. In fact, there's three states. And this is something that even if, are there any neuroscientists out here tonight? No, there's like three, right? Yeah, come on. Right now you're like, no, I was taught in school that there's just these two things, but you're wrong. So there's three. And I'm going to view this as like a traffic light. So every time you meet somebody or meet a thing or an animal, your body has to kind of determine how safe are you. And it does this, let's just view it like a traffic light. So if you feel that person is safe, this green light hits. If you feel this person is dangerous, this yellow light hits. And if you feel this person is more than dangerous, the red light hits. And that's a system that we're going to talk about that has not been acknowledged by the scientific community until very, very recently. And it explains everything. So first of all, this mode you're in, how your body interprets the outside world and internalizes it, this is your autonomic state. It's completely involuntary and it changes everything about your body. Nothing is the same. This is everything. Depending on your autonomic state, your body completely transforms. You might not turn green like the Hulk, but you might as well, because everything inside your body is different depending simply on how safe you feel. And this is the filter through which you experience the entire world. Smells smell differently, tastes taste differently, sights seem different. The same person or experience when you're feeling one way will come off to you as pleasant. The same person when you're feeling upset will come off a different way. And that's because autonomic state is the single most important thing for how you actually experience the world. Now first, let's talk about this green state. This is that parasympathetic state, the Bruce Banner state. This is the safety state. So when your green state is activated, you feel safe, you feel good, and your body transforms. Your heart rate slows down, your saliva and digestion are stimulated, the cranial nerve that activates your facial muscles is activated, so when you can talk to people, you have more emotion, facial expression, you have increased vocal prosody and eye contact with people around you. And this is really cool. These tiny little middle ear muscles in your head, they activate, and what they allow you to do is pick up the frequencies in the mid-range that are associated with human voice. This is so you can actually pick up the sounds of people talking, even in loud and crowded environments. The human voice is very special to the brain for somewhat obvious reasons, but it's only special when you feel safe. So the next zone is the yellow zone. This is what happens when you're in danger. And here your heart speeds up, your pain tolerance goes up, you get flat facial affect, and those middle ear muscles I described, they actually shut down. And what that allows you to do is instead of hearing the middle frequencies associated with human speech, you hear super low frequencies and super high frequencies. These are what we call predator sounds. This is the sound of a panther in the brush or a screaming person in pain, because your body is expecting danger. And instead of thinking, I'm going to be diplomatic and talk to people, it's thinking to itself, I got to look out for scary things. So when you feel danger, your audiology signal shifts, and you actually hear different frequencies at different volumes, which is pretty crazy. And this is the red zone. Red does not show up well on the screen. This is there we go. Thanks, guys. This is the life-threatening situation. And this is the system that up until now has not widely been acknowledged by the scientific community. So to understand this, we need to understand that when people are in extreme danger to the point where their nervous system thinks they're about to die, different things happen to them. They do not fight or flight. They do not run. They do not get activated. What happens to them often is they freeze and they shut down. The other thing to take away is the nervous system settles on this state, green, yellow, red, in reverse evolutionary order. This is a really new and interesting concept. The more danger you're in, the more ancient your response. These responses, the green, yellow, red, they don't kind of fight for position in this autonomic nervous system battle royale. They go in an order. Somebody says, do you want the green system to go in? And the body scans and it says yes, or it says no. And this is a system that's only present in modern mammals. Only modern mammals can do this, can handle these situations with sociability and diplomacy. But you go back in time with every response. The yellow system, more ancient animals do this. This is evolutionary, a more ancient response, aggression and defensiveness and fighting. Which brings us to the red response, which is the most ancient of all. It's a reptilian response, because when reptiles face threat, they do not activate, do they not? They do not run, they do not fight or flight, they freeze, and they play dead. And this is what humans and other mammals do often when they're in life-threatening situations. And trauma needs to be viewed through the prism of this, and this explains a lot. Healthy individuals can bounce between the green and the yellow systems with ease. This is totally true. Athletes need to use the yellow system to activate for a track meet or a basketball game, and you get psyched up. That's not unhealthy. Yes, what's healthy is being able to go from green to yellow with ease. A lot of the kind of the biological imperative of play and fun is this ability to softly move between these states in safe environments and sort of work out that transition. This is really important, the ability to move between these, because unhealthy individuals, if they are in a state of fear, they can't really get out of it, but healthy individuals can bounce between these with ease. But understanding the red zone allows us to understand trauma. In particular, the fact that a common response to trauma is not to run, but to freeze. And this is really, really important. And if you guys walk out of here with one takeaway, please, please, please understand this, because I've seen so many times judges tell women they weren't assaulted because they didn't run or didn't fight. Or people doubt that they were assaulted because they didn't fight back or didn't run. They just kind of shut down and disassociated. And this is a really important, I view this as a social and political issue, because people oftentimes think consciously, if I was in a state of danger, I would fight or I would run. But the nervous system doesn't work like that. The nervous system takes your environment and it does not ask you what you want to do. It just does things. And oftentimes what that means is it freezes and it shuts down. And this is something that I think a lot of people need to know. And this comes from our reptile ancestors. This is completely involuntary. So if you are ever, I'm going to get kind of serious now, if you're ever in a situation or know anybody who's ever been in a situation where they've had something happen to them and the response wasn't to run, it wasn't to fight, it was to freeze. And it was to disassociate. They need to understand that wasn't them making that decision. That was their nervous system. You know, the quote Robin Williams, it's not your fault, right? It's, and I think this really changes our understanding of trauma because I think so much of our legal interpretation of assault and trauma is based on this idea that I would have done that. Why didn't you do that? From people who've never been in those situations before. And I think this is a really, really, really important takeaway.
True.
Thank you. I absolutely, come on guys. One more time, this zone, this green, yellow, red zone, this is your autonomic state. It is completely involuntary and it changes everything about how you experience the world. Things taste different, smell different, see different, sound different. And the reason for that is that the autonomic nervous system is a system. It is a system. That means it involves tons of body parts, tons of organs, and so an interpretation of danger in one is very quickly transmitted to the other. The key to that is this thing called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve starts with your brainstem, goes all the way down to your gut, and it links almost all of your organs together. And what the vagus nerve job is to do is to say from your brain, whether neuroception is like a safety or danger, whatever it is, send that information to every organ so every organ in your body responds in kind. 80% of the fibers of the vagus nerve go from your brain down to your organs saying danger, be in a state of danger. 20% go back up. So if different organs actually sense safety or danger, that info goes back to the brain and back up again. The vagus nerve acts as a neural brake. When it's activated in the green zone, your body slows down. This allows you to be near other people without killing them. This is absolutely key to the green system. Not every animal on the planet can do this. Not every animal has the ability to be near another animal, a strange animal, and not kill it. This is something that is relatively modern. Its ability to socialize and solve problems with diplomacy and conversation and social behavior. And the vagus nerve is key to it. The vagus nerve, when it's activated, it calms you down. It makes you this dude. It makes you calm and measured. All right. And what's also interesting is that breathing is the only autonomic system. You got your digestion, you got your heart rate, but breathing's the only one you can say to yourself, I'm going to control this right now. You can take control of breathing. You can't control your heart rate, but you can control breathing. And when you control your breathing, the vagus nerve links it to everything else. This is how yoga and meditation work, in case you were wondering. You have sensors in your lungs that when you slow your breathing, it slows your heart. When you speed your breathing, it speeds your heart. All of these organs are connected. Breathing is the only one you can physically control. This is why we spend so much time talking about breathing exercises, because they work. It's not because of chi, it's not because of chakra, it's not because of energy balances, it's because of the vagus nerve. And I'm sorry, 4,000 years of traditional history, but this is the truth. I don't care. I mean, Shiva has a point, but honestly, the vagus has a bigger point. And downward dog probably works too, I don't know. But breathing out slowly, every time you exhale, the longer you exhale, the more you stimulate sensors that are in your lungs that activate your vagus nerve, that tell your brain that it is okay to be calm. Because if you think about it, in ancient times, if you are running from a saber-toothed tiger, you don't have time to chill out. And the fact that you have time to take that long breath out, you are signaling via this one organ, the lungs, to the rest of your body that it's okay. And it's kind, and we can chill out. And it gets the message, and it freaking works. Next thing, the vagus has an evil twin. This guy. Mirror, mirror. Everybody gets that. All right. So the vagus nerve actually has two branches to it. You have this branch. This is a myelinated sheath. This is from an evolution. Modern. It's only present in modern mammals, one that have the green system, that social nervous system. It is a fatty sheath around it, like a coaxial cable. When this is activated, that's your green system. It's also got this. This is the ancient vagus. The ancient vagus has no myelinated sheath. It is present in many more ancient animals than humans. It is present in reptiles. When that is activated, that is the red system. The ancient unmyelinated vagus also acts as a brake though. It slows you down, just like the green one, just like when you're calm. But instead of slowing you down to a place of calm, it slows you down to a place where you freeze and disassociate. And that is what is activated in traumatic instances. That is what makes you into this guy, the reptile who freezes under threat. The vagus branch has two branches. The vagus nerve has two branches. This is where we get the term polyvagal theory, which is the name of this entire talk. And it answers all sorts of questions related to trauma, such as, why did I freeze? Why didn't I fight back? Well, because your nervous system decided you were about to die and you had no conscious control over that scenario. Don't blame yourself. Why does everything feel, look, and sound different after? Because that system is all connected to every single organ in your body, and depending on how safe you feel or what you've gone through, they all act differently. Why do I hear things differently after? Those middle ear muscles, they're only engaged when you feel safe. So your audiology signal shifts depending on how safe you feel. If you've been through a traumatic instance, chances are you don't feel very safe. Why am I always so anxious? Anxiety, let's just say what it is. It's an overactive neuroception system. It's when a body interprets danger where there is no danger. Back in the day, the olden days, danger meant saber-toothed tigers attacking us or strangers throwing spears at us or whatever. Today, it means missing a deadline or something like this. And these same neural pathways are activated and you feel anxious, like everything is an existential crisis. I missed that train, the world is over. I'm late for this presentation, the world is over. And this is our bodies internalizing things and running all of these somewhat trivial modern issues through the same neural pathways that were once reserved for I don't have enough food to survive, and you come out feeling like crap constantly. That is what anxiety is. And also realize your bodies, as I said, have a tendency to overestimate danger, so get over it. Why does trauma last for so long, and why is it so difficult to treat? That is because trauma isn't psychological. It's physiological. And this is, I think, if you all walk out of here with one talking point, please spread this to the world. People tell people who've been through traumatic instances, get over it. Get some therapy, maybe some drugs. But that ignores what trauma actually is. What trauma is an entire rejiggering of how the entire body operates. And by treating it merely as a matter of feeling bad or having, something to get over, you completely miss the point. Completely miss the point. And this is not just with trauma. Autism, depression, borderline personality disorder, schizophrenia, etc. So many psychiatric issues all share a litany of physical symptoms that are related to a disengagement of the green system, of the social nervous system. They never feel safe. Auditory hypersensitivity, those middle ear muscles are shut off. Flat facial affect. Lack of vocal prosody. They simply speak more monotonely. High heart rate and low vagal tone, I'm not going to go into that, and many other symptoms related to the autonomic nervous system. Once you start thinking about all of these syndromes, you realize how similar they are, how closely linked they are, and how really a lot of the difference in them can be kind of taken up to the weighting of the nature versus nurture of how the nervous system was compromised or shut off. This is really important because feeling safe, this activation of the green system, is not an optional state for us. It is crucial to us being happy, healthy individuals. The green state facilitates general health. It releases beneficial hormones, in particular things like oxytocin, which are key to our immune system and our defense system. It helps learning and critical thinking and productivity. If you ever want to know how to be productive, a lot of people notice, be less anxious, right? Well, how do you be less anxious? The green state gets you there. This is what the flow state is. Without the green system, you've got no flow state. You've got none of this productivity hacking people are talking about. It makes life more relaxing and enjoyable. It makes people like you. We mirror the autonomic state of people around us. Our bodies are constantly scanning everybody and everything we come into contact with and seeing, are you safe? And if you're safe, I'm going to respond in kind. Are you dangerous? Are you going to respond in kind? And if you can present yourself in a way that triggers the green system in people, well, they respond in kind and they kind of like you more. You can be more like that guy in the earlier slide who everybody seems to love. It allows bodily functions to operate normally. Remember, everything is bound together. There is a reason that a huge percentage of people who've experienced trauma have irritable bowel syndrome. From a logical perspective, that makes no sense. But what's occurring is all of these things are bound together. And so bodily issues come in kind with all of these issues of the nervous system. And it optimizes the entire human experience. This is the good part of living. It's the green state. Which brings us to one more question related to trauma. Why do I have a hard time socializing and forming bonds after trauma? It's because feeling safe is necessary to form strong social relationships. Safety allows for physical proximity to others. Physical proximity allows for contact. contact allows for social bonds. Oxytocin is key for this entire process, but this process is not optional. It is a biological imperative, just like eating. I don't know if anybody's ever played The Sims before, but like if you don't socialize long enough, your guy's meter goes down and you start crying. There is serious truth to this. We are a social species. At some point millions of years ago, our DNA decided we are more likely to survive being social, and so it was baked into our bodies. And so connectedness is baked into our bodies. And it is key to activating the green system, the social nervous system, which is key to general health. And this isn't just for humans. It's not just for humans. And it's not just for adult partners, between children and their kids. I know you guys can ooh and ah, let's go. It's koalas. And it's not just within a species. You can have bonds with your freaking dog and feel great about it. It's necessary. But never feeling safe sucks. Never feeling safe sucks. Without ever feeling safe, you can't get close to people and you can't form bonds. Without bonds, your bodies are never as healthy as they can be. And your human experience is not optimized. It's especially true for young children with developing nervous systems. Studies have shown, I'm not going to go into this right now, but every step along the way, like one of the key predictors of health, just physical health, in addition to happiness and social, financial success, is just having strong social support networks at a young age. And relationships without feeling safe are not healing. These relationships necessary for healing, if it's an abusive relationship, it's not a healing relationship. You need to get out of that, people. I'll talk to you. I'll help you. It's cool. So let's fix it. Let's use the fact that we understand our nervous system now in a way we never did before and create interventions and treatments that allow us to undo this state and activate the green state, the social nervous system, in a way that was never before possible. Let's treat trauma first off as a physiological issue. It's not psychological. It changes the way your body works. Your digestion is different. Your breathing is different. Your hearing is different. And a simple drug that makes your SRI go whatever up isn't going to fix that. Realize there's a greater threshold for people who've experienced these issues to ever feel safe and create situations and environments that cater to them and also be an understanding person. Also understand that environmental and social cues, different ones very, very specifically trigger nervous systems to feel safe and dangerous. I'm going to talk about this in a second, but understanding specifically what these are gives you kind of a superpower and the ability to influence your nervous system and others in a, let's just hope, positive manner. Breathe. Breathing is one of the key ways we can control our own nervous systems. It's our autonomic nervous system is automatic except for breathing. So use that back door to signal to everything else. It's cool. It's chill. And then let's design interventions that bring back the green. And the key to this is to understand the autonomic state is self-reinforcing. When you're safe, you sense safety. Those middle ear muscles, they pick up frequencies in the mid-range. Those mid-range frequencies tell our bodies that we are safe, and it goes back in and it creates a cycle of safety. If you feel threatened, you sense more threats. Your radar, your neuroception is on more to sense danger. And it's all internalized in your nervous system. So this is why it's so difficult, because pain, trauma, and danger, they create cycles of pain, trauma, and danger. But by re-engaging a dormant green system, you can do the opposite. You can create cycles of healing. At first is to understand what specific environmental cues signal danger to people. Low-frequency noises. Our bodies interpret this as danger, as predators. Flat facial affect. Our bodies interpret that as somebody who's not here to socialize, but somebody who's here to kick ass. And they respond in kind. And of course, the Kenny Loggins danger zone. Gets me going. So exactly. So I'm going to leave you guys with two things. One is a couple of quick hacks to manipulate your own nervous system. Again, breathe slowly. Speak with smiles, eye contact, and sing-songy nature of lots of vocal prosody. People will treat you differently, I promise you. If you're feeling bad, listen to mid-frequency music. Things like Disney soundtracks are great. Boo! Boo! I'm dead serious. They get those middle ear muscles going, done some studies, it's pretty freaking cool. Work, learn, and live in environments that feel safe to you. And also, if you're like somebody who designs a school, get rid of those fluorescent lights and lack of windows and actually create an environment that actually feels safe for kids because they ain't learning otherwise. And spend time around people you like and love. That's exercising your social nervous system. That's getting those juices going. That's making good. Which leaves us with 9 takeaways here. It's a lot, actually. Homework. work, people. Okay. Your autonomic state is the filter through which you experience the world. Environmental cues can magically transform your physiology and the way people perceive you. This is automatic. You can control it if you know how. Trauma is physiological, it's not psychological. Feeling safe is necessary for a good life. Bonding with others is necessary for good health. When people don't feel safe, they don't think critically. This is why politicians try to scare us all the time. It's true. Because if all you're thinking is, I'm going to die, that's all you care about is not dying. The simplest way to make people like you, and this includes dogs with children, who's a good boy, who's a good boy? Use your facial muscles and speak with prosody. And lastly, we can fix this. Simply feeling safe can jumpstart the healing process, and I believe change the world. So it leaves us one nod here is please be safe to each other. Party on, guys.
Go to nerdnight.com to find a Nerd Night event near you. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for our latest presentation.